Mary, thank you. Stocks finishing higher today as the markets continue to be awash in volatility. The up and down impact being felt in Silicon Valley, where startup investments could now be at risk. Joining us is Venky Ganesan, Managing Director with Menlo Ventures. Venky, this really has people's attention out there. How worried are they?
I think they're worried. It's only when the tide goes out that you know who's swimming naked and who's got shorts on. And right now people are worried that some people are swimming naked.
Who might those people be?
I think it's mostly the late stage. So if you look at right now, the late stage growth market, there are a lot of companies who are sitting on with unicorn status, but a lot of them are gross margin negative and spending way too much money. And I think when the tide goes out and money evaporates, which it looks like it's going to be, those folks are in trouble.
Are you talking about Uber, Venky?
Well, I think, Menlo is an investor in Uber. I am very comfortable with our position in Uber. I think that company is going to be fine.
Venky, a lot of people are talking about this Nick Bilton piece in Vanity Fair. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to read it, but he goes through all the potential signs, harbingers of this bubble popping. He looks at corporate real estate, residential real estate, compensation, perks. If there's any one of those that is the most glaring signal of a bubble, which is it? What's most alarming to you?
I think the most alarming is when companies sign 10-year plus leases for multi-millions of dollars because they're locking in real estate at probably the wrong time and for too long of a period. And that, to me, is the biggest indicator of danger. The other danger I look for is on my commute. Every time I drive to San Francisco and back, I look to see how bad the commute is. When the commute gets worse, it's going to get bad.
So 1 to 10, how bad is it right now?
So it's really a tale of two cities, and this is really important to understand. I think in the early stage of venture capital, which is really where we play, we think it's a fantastic time to invest.
No, I meant your commute.
Oh, my commute. My commute is probably 7.5.
Okay, so we're getting there.
But Venky, it's Carol Roth. In terms of the unicorns, and I hate to almost use that term anymore now that there's like 100 plus of them running around there, but don't they have sort of a strategic weapon in that they have the backing of folks like yourself, like Menlo Ventures, like Andreessen Horowitz? Doesn't that in some way anoint them as winners and create some level of a moat around them? Because, you've created a group of very smart people that said that you are worth this much money and have given them really a ton of capital to be able to operate.
Well, what's complicated is there are clearly some companies that I think are worth the status and clearly will be very successful. The challenge is, what about the rest who may not be quite worth the status? And the difference between the two is that I think people talk about growth rates, but you also need to have a path to profitability. I think the really successful unicorns have highly defensible technology, have network effects, and a clear path to profitability whenever they need to. The danger signs are unicorns who are burning a lot of money, who are gross margin negative, and high burn rates, and are dependent on future finance. And what happens is Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, do you want to give any of those unicorns names?
A gentleman doesn't name names, and I'm not going to name names either. But I'll tell you that if you are broadly in categories which are, dependent upon you being gross margin negative, so services, a lot of services, like we've already seen HomeJoy and Handy. I think other labor services which are highly people dependent, and they're spending a lot of money on marketing, those are the ones I would worry about.
Thank you, Venky. Really appreciate your insights this hour. Venky Ganesan there on bubble signs in Silicon Valley.